Hey, howdy, hi.
I'm Danielle,
And I'm Nye.
and this is
My point is, ew. I've been seeing a lot of Cardi B videos and I've been bodying her
Oh,
throughout my day.
you know what?
And
There
I've
are worse
really
things.
liked it.
I wish that you would pick someone with a little bit more stability.
Stability?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
She has a lot of razzmatazz, and I live for that for her.
I
But
don't
wait.
understand.
You also already have a lot of razzmatazz. I think that maybe someone with I don't know, just a little bit more, straight and narrow.
Why would I want that?
Because you already have the sparkle. You don't need to pick someone
got
else
that
who has
sweat.
their own. I'm going to say that you have plenty of sparkle.
I do like to sparkle.
And you do a
I
great
can't
job.
help it.
And you do a great job, especially when we're feeling good, but even in the times when we're feeling crappy and terrible and the world's falling apart.
Yeah.
You
well,
still have a sparkle.
Unfortunately,
That's where we're at.
that's where we're fucking at. We're stuck here.
Truly.
I think we were talking earlier and you were like, this is a dystopia.
Mhm.
And I couldn't help but agree.
No, it is. Everything feels very dystopian. And it's weird to feel like you have to act normal right now, quote normal. And then you have to get up and you have to wash your face like children aren't dying in Gaza. You have to go to work and pretend that you care about punching in numbers or doing, ordering things on Amazon like it's not supporting an evil billionaire who's ruining the planet, right? That AI isn't stealing all the water and air from people in Georgia and everywhere else.
Unfortunately, I'm a part.
We all have to be when we go to work and we do these things and and we just have to be like, oh yeah, look, it's like overnight shipping. Fantastic. Yay. Tell your boss, fantastic. It'll get there tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Did you want them to bring it tomorrow at 9 a.m. for
Did you
free?
want this amount of blood, sweat, and tears or this amount of blood, sweat?
It just feels, I don't know. For me,
it doesn't feel good. It feels like there's no right way to navigate it either.
No.
Because there isn't a right way. It's
you can do your best.
I mean, that's do your best, but there's still fallout from that. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think it was that show. Did you watch The Good Place?
I've never seen it. I want to see it really badly, but I've never seen it. But I've heard that it's very relatable, especially right now.
Yeah. There's this
I don't mind a
portion of
spoiler.
it where they talk about it was like a point system, whether you get into the good place or the bad place.
Oh, damn.
And how people have not gotten into the good place for years on years because things like you buy a t-shirt and it's like supporting a sweatshop. Those are negative points, even though you were just la-di-daing through life. There's so many negatives without even noticing that it's
do they ever address, because this is what it made me think of immediately. Do they ever address, what about the people who are in poverty and they can only afford those
negative
items that are unfortunately made
negative points? That's why they fight the good place at some point. But they were just negative.
Even if people literally have no other option.
Yeah, no, negative.
Think about people who live in food deserts.
They weren't thinking about nuance in that. That's part of the problem in that show.
Well, I think it's also, it sounds like that's also a very real representation of how, if you think about it, because I'm assuming good place, bad place, it's supposed to be heaven, hell, religion, right? It's related.
It's a little funnier, but yeah.
Well, yeah. Religion's pretty funny. It's a cult. Anyway, not the point.
Right. That is not the point.
That is not the point today. No, but if you think about it, in a lot of religions, they make it very black and white as well.
Yeah.
Very it's good or bad.
Yeah.
And that's it. You make it through the gates or you don't. So I feel like they did that probably on purpose and they did that well. I just feel like that's where I am with all of this stuff of how weird it feels, and especially being online. Going online on your phone is so
that's weird. Auto.
I feel like I want to peel out of my skin like a little sardine can. When they peel open the sardine can.
I don't eat sardines, but I hear you.
You've seen me open a sardine can.
Probably.
And you peel it open. That's what I want to do. Because I can't stand. I can't stand going online and then it's every swipe is either a new horror or a new level of hate or a new level of like ignorance from like some influencer that's like, buy my supplement. Oh, look at me in Vegas. Look at me in, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, we're just going to pretend that like horrifying atrocities aren't happening right now outside of our country and inside our country. And then the next time you swipe, it's like, oh, marriage equality is now up for debate again.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've
Yeah,
actually been like operating at a point where I'm trying to be like blissfully ignorant, which is also problematic.
I understand it
But
though.
like, yeah, I think we were talking about it earlier, like, the whole red pill, blue pill conundrum.
Okay, which I do need you to explain to me again because my understanding of that was that it's some kind of weird like thing for dudes that listen to Andrew Tate.
Okay, incorrect. But I mean, maybe.
Maybe
Maybe
they
they've adopted it,
maybe they've
but they
adopted
can
it.
suck my dick
I
because it's
don't
not working.
I don't really know about
They didn't
them.
make that.
Okay,
But you know what? They would steal that.
probably. Tell me about what you're talking about, your version of it.
Okay, so I've already forgotten which pill is which, but
I know which pill is which.
okay, tell me.
The only part I remember about this was that blue is ignorance and red is
Oh,
reality.
okay. Okay.
But I don't remember the background of why that is.
Yeah, so he's in the Matrix.
So it's from The Matrix.
It's from the Matrix. Did you ever watch it?
Of course. Aunt Colleen showed me
So
that when I was a
how-
child. So the red pill. So it's from The Matrix. Okay. So then if it's from The Matrix, that means the red pill is about looking at the reality of what
Like
the
uncomfortable truths.
uncomfortable truths. And then the blue pill is living in the Matrix still.
Okay, I'm trying to take the blue pill, but like the red pill is like, bitch, never that. Never that. You must take me. And I'm trying to fight it, but at the end of the day, I'm not that kind of bitch.
Yeah.
I'm not the kind of bitch who could put my head in the sand. I've never been. But I feel this like tiredness of like growing up, like, because they talk about uncomfortable truths. Like, I've had to face uncomfortable truths being like a young black woman, like growing up in like a predominantly white area. Like, I had to face a lot of uncomfortable truths. I've had to throughout my life. And even now, like coming out as non-binary, like
Even more.
uncomfy.
Stack more.
Would not call it comfy. Okay.
Far from it.
But yeah, so I'm trying like not to overload myself in some way, but also that's ignorant. And I don't want to be ignorant. I want to keep learning and supporting like what's right, be on the right side of history kind of thing. But I'm so tired. And I think a lot of people are feeling that too.
The burnout.
Yeah.
The burnout is really, really, really intense. And I feel like I have such a complicated relationship with it. Such a complicated relationship with it because I fully hear what you're saying. And when I hear you say it, my first thought is you shouldn't overload yourself. Like if you need that rest is required for resistance. Like we know this. Like you have to rest in order to stay active. But at the same time, I get what you're saying about like the rest of it makes you feel guilty. It makes you feel overwhelmed, and when I hear you say it, I'm like, no, of course you should be resting when you need it, especially because I always feel like it shouldn't have to be the job of the people most affected to fix things that weren't their messes made, right? So then for me on my end, I'm like, okay, so I definitely shouldn't rest and I definitely can't take time for myself. And it's so hard because it's like I also am a human being who I recognize I do need rest and I do need to like recharge and do it in little ways, but stay consistent with being active and present with what's going on in the world. I feel like you get to a point, and this was kind of the inspiration for this episode, is for what we're talking about today is the other week, we were talking about feeling this burnout from, because it's not just the crazy things that are happening in the world. It's also things that are going on in our personal lives, like our 9 to 5, the stress of trying to do your 9 to 5 and your 5 to 9, like all the creative endeavors that we're trying to take on and going on those journeys. And and then you have like relationships with whether it's partnerships or whether it's with family, friends, all of it. And it's so much on each of our plates.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to Nye about this last week when we were trying to get back in the swing of things. Fun fact, we're doing some rebranding. Yay, I'm so excited. Get ready for some new things here and hopefully more consistency from us.
We'll see.
That's what we're
TBD.
trying. We're doing slowly. So when we were talking about this, I was saying that I am so exhausted, right? Like now I brought up the idea of a rebrand and immediately I put on the brakes. I was like, I can't even talk about that right now. And I almost got not angry, but like I was very like forceful with it. Like I was like, no, I can't even do this. Stop. And I was like, hey, buddy.
Hey, pal.
I want to take a seat. Why don't we talk? I felt like I was sitting with Mr. Rogers all of a sudden. I was like,
I was very gentle.
no, really. I felt like someone came up and like put one of those little shock blankets on, like the trauma blankets on you, you just like came out of the water. Yeah. And I was like, what's going on for you? Like, let's talk what's happening. And it came down to me and I expressed everything, right? All of the overwhelm and the challenges that I've been feeling in my day to day and feeling like I'm in the driver's seat of my life, which is a good thing, but I'm in the driver's seat of my life so consistently and so entirely that I feel isolated and alone in that need for control. Right. And I know we just talked about before, not just for us, but like for you guys, we just talked about community and relying on community and building that. And so it's funny because in my personal life, I think have not been doing my due diligence in relying on people in my community and in my circle because I've been so of the belief with my blinders on that I just have to do it all by myself and take it on by myself because everyone I know around me is feeling burned out by everything going on with them and in the world. So I'm like, I can't ask anything of my community. That's crazy talk. Crazy. But so Nye looks at me and goes, it seems like you're like over your mental load. And how did you say it? I can't remember how you said it.
I was like, your mental load is like kind of at capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very therapist. I was like, oh.
Sometimes I do the things, you know what I'm saying?
Every once in a while.
Okay. You could say all the time. You didn't have to do all that.
I couldn't. I just couldn't.
No lies over here.
Only truth. So yeah, so when I said that, when you said that, I literally was like, oh my gosh. I felt like someone shattered some glass on each of my eyeballs. And I was like, ah!
Oh, okay.
And then I could see again.
That doesn't sound good.
But it was, no, I mean, it doesn't sound good, but it was. It's like when you go to the chiropractor, it doesn't sound like it's good, but the relief. I felt like someone had just cracked me, right in half like a glow stick. Good. So good. Like they take you by your spine like,
oh God. Calm down. Keep it together. We are on air.
Sweating. Anyway. Really. So point was, that's how I felt. And then we continued to talk about being in the driver's seat. And I was like, well, do you want me to be in the drive the boat for a little while? And I was like, what boat?
Meg the Stallion.
And I was like, yeah, we're on a yacht. And I was like, oh, on a yacht. Okay. Oh, very different imagery.
And I was like, I'll be driving and all you have to do is shake ass on the front of the yacht.
On the boat.
Like, don't worry about it.
And
like, just have fun.
And it was such a great image. And I loved that. And I was like, here's the problem. Then I feel like a useless loser. And you were like, you're not a useless loser. And I was like, well, that's hard to believe if I'm just shaking ass on the boat. And essentially, and I was like, well, I like the view. So you're useful.
I was like, yeah, you do a good job.
And I was like, oh, the value comes in such different forms. And I really appreciated it. And so we've been doing it this way, where we've been trying this for a minute. And it's not to say that like, and there's part of this where I still feel really guilty, like really guilty. Even like, I feel like I'm like dishing some scandal right now by saying this, where I feel like it's going to be like have such bad backlash on me. Like, oh my God, she's not doing anything.
No.
But this is why I'm saying it, is because anyone who's saying that doesn't know a whole picture and is probably having some trouble understanding how community works.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I would never have offered something like that if they felt like I wasn't doing a lot in many regards, right?
Yeah,
Like,
you'd taken on the majority, especially because I've been dealing with a lot of mental health struggles. You were like, well, they're not going to edit, so let me edit the whole thing.
that's fine.
And then, yeah, you were like posting the YouTube, you were doing like the whole process minus me just being there for the recording. And I felt guilty for that, but also, um, yeah, like once I started like kind of getting reactivated towards it, I was like, it's only fair that I take this on. But also I'm excited to take this on.
And
Like,
yeah, that's what really got me is that you were like, no, I actually want to. You
mhm,
said when we were talking, you were like, I don't get to be in the driver's seat that often in like a lot of things in my life. This is really exciting. And I was like, oh, you mean it?
yeah,
Oh, you actually are being
tired of being the
authentic.
sidekick.
You're never a sidekick. You are never a sidekick. That is,
I actually remember in high school, somebody actually told me that I was somebody's sidekick. And ever since then, it's been such an insecurity of mine. It's so crazy.
I feel like we've had a lot of conversations about your friends in high school and how they were not great
In
examples
high
of
school, maybe
community.
not so much. College was different, but high school was wild for me.
Yeah.
I got like bullied on the first day.
Yeah. See,
I
you know,
was like, okay. My point is, what is my point?
point was, I believe, that there's a balance and there's an equity involved with mental load.
Mm,
When you are feeling that stress and that struggle, when your daily tasks, when the elements of your life that normally you don't think about, like they're just things that you do, right?
mhm.
Mental load, for anyone who doesn't know, I can't believe we talked this long about it. I didn't even, okay, let's back up. Let's back up. So, mental load, for those who don't know, these are the cognitive and behavioral like functions that go on to take care of your emotional, personal, professional life, like all of the pieces of your life that you take care of, all of the organizational tasks, the planning that you do, everything that is the mental work that goes into enacting your life. That's mental load. A lot of times we don't think about it. We don't, it's not something we're consciously thinking about because we just do it. When you start to notice it and when you start to become very aware of it, that's when you usually can say, oh, I bet you I'm at my limit.
Too damn much.
It's too much. When you start to realize that things like, oh, I have to set an alarm for waking up in the morning. Wow, that sounds exhausting to do. What time do I have to wake up in the morning? I can't even think about that right now. I have to work all of that, the number. I don't know how to math. Who is she? I'm going to sleep instead and I'll just get up. You know
Yeah.
what? The fates will wake me.
For me, it
Like,
was simple things like taking a shower become like these extreme, overwhelming tasks. Like taking care of yourself sounds overwhelming because you have to do so many other things.
yeah,
Especially with our job where we have to like literally run people's lives. Not run them,
kind of.
but like mostly.
We coordinate it.
I feel like I'm living 8 lives because I have 8 caseload,
No, truly.
8-person caseload.
We coordinate people's lives. So yeah, so that is usually when you start to think about your mental load, is when you're thinking about these things that normally are just, you do them. They're just normally invisible action. That's when you're at capacity. And that is usually when you're burned out. That's the sign of burnout. It's not the only, and there's a lot of science behind burnout. Please.
Not you
Please.
saying capacity. It made me think of our boss.
You said it earlier. You said it first. That's the only reason I said it.
She's always like, "Are you at capacity? Like, do you have the capacity to talk about this?"
It's so annoying.
It's
I can't stand
I don't know. It's like a kind thing, but it's also like I want to punch you.
It's the way it's
the way it's
she
said.
does
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Because I know the intention is
Mhm.
kind. It is. It's just
You know
so.
what? I'm at capacity for your weirdness.
Point is, I think she's doing her best. There's room for improvement. That's all we're saying.
Well-
Point is in terms of this, right? Because we're talking about burnout,
Mhm.
mental load. So I asked you. Well, actually, you offered. I didn't even ask.
No, you
And
didn't have to.
This is the part where you really showed up for me, is that you were like, can I take some of that? Can I be in the driver's seat? And I was like, frozen, panicking. I don't know.
You were
I don't
kind of
know.
like, "Oh my god, is that an option?"
Yeah. It didn't feel like an option. It didn't
Mhm.
feel like an option for me. Not because I didn't trust you, not because I didn't want you to, not because it's just because I am someone who pretty perpetually is in the driver's seat for myself. And then also, I usually am the one to offer that to other people and do that for others. I'm not used to that being offered to me without asking. And there are very few people that I do ask. And if I do ask, it's for specific completable tasks, not like
A project.
can you take this element of something on? So that was a really emotional big deal for me when you did that. And I had it like when I went home, I had like a whole thing with Jamelia where I was like, I don't know. I just hope that Dinah doesn't think less of me. And Jamelia was like, silence. For anyone who's listening, sorry, it's just silence because Jamelia doesn't say a lot, but then hugs me and is like, it's okay, baby. And I know that usually means, you know what? I didn't do anything wrong.
No, you did not.
So we were talking about how mental load gets to be too much. Burnout, they're all connected, right? How these are connected entities and what you need to do when that becomes too much.
Yeah.
Right. And what we were saying is we were talking about how leaning in with community is really important, even if it feels super uncomfortable. Even if you're like, I've never done this before. How? Right? Ask for that help with the things that are overwhelming your mental load. Ask for help with the tiny tasks, right?
My thing is, there's some parts that you can ask for help. Like my burnout comes from my 9 to 5.
Yeah. We're working on there are things you can ask for help with that. We're working on things right now with that.
What are you working on?
Certain applications.
Oh, right. I'm
Right.
applying the job.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah. Right. So like, even though I can't help you with doing your job, which sometimes we do, but we have the luxury of that.
We
But even if
collaborate,
but even if that's not the case, you can ask people to help you with what you know you need, which we do as well.
Yeah.
Right. But the other thing, aside from leaning into community, is the point that you mentioned earlier in our planning session, which I thought was really important because I did not think of it, which was the need for falling back in love with your passions and creating your art, whatever that may be. It does not have to be traditional. Please, everyone listening, anyone listening.
Anyone.
Or anyone.
Any of you.
Please. Art can be anything. Okay. If you are someone who really is enthusiastic about puzzles, you doing a puzzle, that's your art. Okay. If you love bird watching, that's your art. If you love, what's something else that no one would consider an art unless it's your art?
Like collecting things.
If you like collecting things, that's your
Good
art.
for you.
Okay. Anything can be your art. But the point was that you were making. So if you want to speak on that, is falling back, it's important when you're feeling this level of burnout to fall back in love with your passions, to get more involved with them, because we fall out of love with our passions when you burn out and when your mental load is at capacity. Because your body and your mind go into survival mode. And when you're surviving, you're not living. And art is part of living. And when you're living, that means you have joy. Joy is this very crucial element to existing in a sustainable way. And that's one of the things that, like, why the government will strip their populations of anything that makes them feel comfortable or at ease. They'll make them work 3 times as hard for basic needs, and then the population will start to view basic needs as luxury, like certain parts of basic needs as luxuries. And that when you change that mindset, you remove joy from the equation and you push people into survival mode. They're burned out. They then don't have the energy to go out.
Pour into themselves.
To pour into themselves.
Yeah, because I honestly view like reconnecting with your passions as like a form of self-love. For me, my passion is writing. It has been. But I kind of shut that down when I got shut down in college by a professor who gave me a D in a writing class. And it made me feel like I wasn't a writer.
Really?
Yeah. But after that, like me deciding to write despite this man being a jackass, an asshole. If you see this ever, you're a piece of shit.
You want to name him?
I don't remember his name. He's unremarkable. Okay.
Ooh, the worst.
Yeah.
Unremarkable. Forgettable.
Okay.
We don't even remember him.
I really don't. But I remember that grade. That's for damn sure. Okay. You fucked up my GPA.
Ooh.
But anyway, Yeah, me deciding to write despite negative outside feedback is me deciding your voice is worth it, you're worth it. Like, put yourself out, like, just be you despite. Be you despite, period. Which is like, it feels like I'm like hugging myself. Um, which, yeah, getting back into writing. What have I been doing? I've been trying to create a zine, which I really want to say zine, but it's zine.
Still a zine.
I know. I just feel like they said it wrong. You know, somebody decided wrong on how to pronounce it. But anyway, I digress. I'm trying to create a zine, so to tap into both my writing and also like kind of graphic design in some way because you have to like design the pages and all
Mm,
that. And it's really hard to like tap back into that because I've been like degrading myself almost or
almost.
self-deprecating.
Almost.
Right, right.
Right.
Okay, I've been really self-deprecating when it comes to my art
There you go. I thought we were, yeah.
because
I was like, let's be authentic.
I've been like I take outside feedback as almost like the law. Like,
I know. I
yeah,
know.
it guides me because it's been like a safety thing for a long time, but it's not anymore. It's not a protective thing anymore. It's just at this point it's just I'm comfortable with it and it's like I'm used to it. But
Well, that's actually like, that actually, can I say something about this? Is that
yeah,
okay? I don't want to cut you off. Say
no,
more if you
shut the
want.
fuck up. No.
I know. But it made me think of something because this connects to what you had told me earlier about you struggling currently to see yourself as a writer,
Mhm.
right? And it made me think immediately, and I wrote it down in our
Mm,
notes
mm,
because
mm.
it made me think immediately about how you were talking about this and how you're very self-deprecating. You always say, "Well, I'm not an artist. I'm not an artist." You're doing a ton of work right now on your zines, on writing, on our rebrand, and you
Mhm.
continue to say, "I'm not an artist," which really makes me want to scratch my own eyeballs out,
Oh,
um, to put it lightly.
sounds
But
lovely.
yeah, it's a great time because it couldn't be farther from the truth. But it made me think of, and this is what I wrote, it made me think of how so often queer people and people
Mm.
within, not just queer people in many marginalized communities, but especially queer people, so often we are not born as ourselves. We are
Mm.
born and learn to perform a self
Mm.
for society that maintains safety and avoidance of rejection.
Mhm.
That is what we learn, is how to perform a sense of self. And so then what happens is when we get to like this point in our lives where we start to think about what we really want and we start to think about things like authenticity and we start to think about things like being for fucking real,
Be for fucking real.
right? When we think about what that means to us, like that we're sick of doing this performance, we're tired, we're burned out,
Mhm.
we're at our limits. Then what happens is you have to go on this journey of self discovery of what, like, you have to untangle. It's like untangling a bunch of chains
Mm.
of what piece of this practice that I've been doing is the real, true part of me. Like,
Or the fabricated part. Yeah.
what pieces are the protective measures that I've used and what pieces are the true elements of my identity.
Mhm.
And there's going to be there's a lot of both, but you have to untangle that as you go. And that's what I just want to put in there, is because I think that's really important. Like, you are so not alone in this part of your journey. And I think that's really important for other people to hear too, is that there are going to be little pieces that feel really like who you are. And then there will be pieces that you may be very attached to because you know they keep you safe, and they have in the past, but they also keep you isolated from people
Mm.
that really want to be there and be with you,
Mm.
who you are really. They keep you from actually knowing yourself at your fullest. That's all I was going to say.
It's also really scary to know yourself because then that's who you are. You don't get to really I mean, you can make changes. I
What?
feel like
Yes.
I know you can like try to change. It's like I don't know, facing yourself is a difficult thing in
Oh,
my
a
opinion.
100%.
Yeah.
That's why, that's why hopefully I will have a job. That's why people pay people to coach
Help
them.
you to find your identity. And here's where we plug Danielle, the lovely identity coach for queer folks, especially.
You
Okay.
don't have to be queer, but if you are,
I said
please
especially.
front of the line. Yeah, so I'm building a coaching business.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I am doing. That's what I've been in the process of doing. It's part of why my mental load has been at such capacity,
Mm-hmm.
is because with all the other things going on in my life, I have been slowly developing a coaching business that I will be launching very soon. and it is terrifying. It is very exciting. I can't wait to meet you guys, whoever would like coaching from me. If you feel that there's a piece of your life, that there's parts of yourself that you're trying to untangle, that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do, you know, and I will talk to you way more in depth for anyone who wants to hear about that. I'm so happy to talk more in depth about that. But for now, yeah, that's the plug. I'm going to be doing that. We'll keep you updated about when things are open and launch and have availability to book and things like that, where to go, where to look.
I have been receiving free services and it's been great. I am their first review.
5 stars. Thank you. You hear that? Listen. And they know what they're talking about. They're going through a lot.
I have a lot of shit.
And they're doing great.
Trying my best.
No, you're not trying. You're doing.
Eh,
You're doing.
okay.
You don't think you're doing? We're here tonight
I think
actually
I could be
because of
doing
you.
better.
We're actually here tonight because of you.
I'm trying to do better. I would like to try more, but I hear you. I am doing.
There you go.
I just don't like the doing
There you go.
that I'm doing.
And that's fine. And you don't have to like it.
Just not enough doing. You understand?
That's for our next session, please.
Our
This is the
next
podcast.
session.
That's for our next session. This is for the podcast, right? We can't go into session.
Help
No,
me.
but genuinely, like I'm really constantly awed at how you go about this journey, because like what you're saying is that getting to know yourself is hard and it is scary,
Mhm.
and you continue to do it persistently and with fervor.
Yeah, because I feel like I don't want to go back. Like, talk about discomfort. There's discomfort moving forward, but there's like, it's like an empty, hollow, like, way to live when you're just not accessing the real part of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah. And I feel like that's a big part of finding those joys and passions. That is a really positively triggering route to getting to those pieces of yourself.
mhm.
So like these zines and things like that, I think that's incredibly important
Yeah,
for you
because
to
I'm
do.
going to see a part of myself within what I produce.
I know.
And I have to like be vulnerable and let it be seen. That's the hardest part for me. I don't like to be seen.
Yeah.
Don't like to be perceived.
I know.
But at the end of the day, it is the night.
But at the end of the day, it's the night. And what's for me was meant for me, and my experiences are my own. They could never be yours. And what's for you was meant for you.
Clap, 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 clap.
But of course, you don't like to be perceived. Who is going to want to be perceived when they don't even know what's being perceived?
Mm,
If you don't know who you are and what people are perceiving, then it's anxiety inducing,
yep.
because it feels like the people perceiving have all the power in determining what's out there,
Mm-hmm.
right? I digress. Point is, it makes sense, right? It makes sense. Is this part where now I talk about my passions that I'm doing? Vulnerability.
There we go.
So in my efforts to combat my burnout, and like I said, there's a ton of science on burnout. This is like but a mere tiny sliver, and there's years it takes to actually overcome true burnout, and that's like a whole therapeutic specialty. So please,
I beg.
I beg, this is but one element. It's a big picture. But what I can do now in this moment, and what I know that I have control over doing, is asking my community to take on certain pieces of the puzzle that really help take things off my shoulders, which is great. And then I can dip into my artist journey, which has been very challenging for me and has led to a lot of insecurities surfacing for me, because I have always considered myself an artist.
Mm.
I know that I am an artist. In my respects, I act. I do physical art with charcoals. I love art.
And are superb at it.
Well, some have said.
Me.
And
I've said it.
I will accept the compliment. I appreciate it. And I feel confident in my art. I feel comfortable and confident in my art. What I find, and this is where, okay, so this is the part that you didn't know, right? Like this is the part that I was going to talk to you here about things, right? Is that where I feel insecure is not in the doing of the art that I know I'm good at,
Mm-hmm.
or I feel confident in. It's that I feel very old way in my art. I do not feel comfortable. Now, comfort is oftentimes the death of success.
Mm-hmm. A trap.
Yeah. But it's more than just uncomfortable. It's that I feel most inspired when I am doing art in the way that I understand
Mm-hmm.
it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Which I think is very human and very normal. What I mean by that is that old way of art was much more long form, much more, for example, acting or putting out physical art pieces, right? You either put them up online as, look at my art. Do you like it? Here's a link to buy it. There was simplicity. Okay. It did not require a marketing degree. Nowadays, if you want to have people buy anything from you, you need to have a whole marketing degree. You need to have
Mhm.
a social media manager. You need to be able, or be one yourself. You need to wear 5 different hats to make 3 posts, 3 videos a day, every day, consistently for like months on end before maybe one of your videos blows up in that video. And a lot of the videos are not even pertaining to the art you're doing, but trends that are going on. So you need to be aware of the trends and really invested in finding them, and then doing all of the videos, all of the planning, all of the editing, all of the planned postings, everything. All of this goes into getting people to just click a link to look
Mhm.
at your art,
Tune in.
to tune in. And what's wild to me and why I've found such insecurity and such resistance with it is I don't have as much care for some of the trends and doing little, like, I don't know, sounds bites and things like that. Like, they're funny to watch, but that's not where I feel most inspired or excited to do art, is not in the short form of, like, it started back in my day with Vines. Back in my day.
Please stop.
Okay.
Do
But
not age
now
yourself.
I love it. It's fine. I worked hard to get here. I'm happy to be here. But like it that's where I feel very, very separate, is there's this new era of short form videos. The attention spans that people have are like mice. It's wild. And I don't feel good doing that kind of content. I feel like getting involved in modern day content creation is very challenging for me
Mhm.
because I don't have a passion for it. So I end up doing things that I know are marketing techniques, but I don't like the doing of it because it doesn't feel like, and it feels like it takes away from the energy I have to give to my actual art.
I hear that.
That's the hard part for me. I don't like it. It's not engaging for me. It's not interesting to me. I don't find any joy in it. I want to be in a little artisan village where my craft is what I do all day. I take my craft to a stall or to an amphitheater, and I perform my craft or I show my craft. And people come to this artisan village because they know that's where you go for art.
Yeah.
That's what I want. It is not currently possible. It's very challenging to take it on. I'm doing it, and I'm going to find the joy in it. I'm going to be challenged by it, by my community, by people that are going to make me expand how I think about it. But this is where I'm at and why I'm having such a hard time with. This is the part that I'm having a really hard time with in terms of doing and engaging with my art. I feel like a lot of my energy gets zapped
Mm.
when I have to do the sound bites and the little clips and the little, like, I it drains my energy,
Mhm.
you know? So, I don't know what to do about that. I don't think there's like a resolution to that. But that's the challenge. I don't know what else to say about that, but such is the path, and I think the whole point of this was to connect it back to the most important part is connecting to what you find joy in and what you're
Mhm.
passionate about. So, like, for me, if I know I need to take a step back from maybe the posting online every single day, but I still make sure I prioritize making my art, doing something artistic.
Mhm.
That's what matters. And I need to be able to not feel bad about not posting because in my brain, I'm like, oh, if you're not posting it, you're not doing it right. And the truth is, no, if I'm making art, I'm doing it right. That's what I need to connect with, the joy of doing art. And I'll get around to posting it when I post it. And the less mental load I end up having, the more energy I'll have to then take on the marketing piece, the posting piece, the doing all of that. But it requires, you have to see what gives you that joy and what requires more mental load. So you have to balance that. You have to make room for the joy of things and not totally give up on the pieces that require mental load. You just have to find a way to delegate and balance that and rely on people.
Point is,
Say it with a little more gusto. Jesus.
the point is.
Oh, oh, with bass. The point is.
Point is, this shit that we're in is fucking crazy. We're fucking dealing with a lot of shit. And there's some level of contributing to like fixing the problem, but there's also some level of like pouring into yourself that you need to do.
Mhm.
And sometimes, or a lot of times, that looks like exploring and going back to your passions that you once had. And it could be hard, it can be tough, uncomfortable, but think in the long run. I believe in the long run, it'll be worth the like connection you find with yourself and to your community as well.
It definitely is. Like, I can say that with all certainty.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely is. Backed by science.
Yeah.
But it is, I agree. I think like that's the main point. And I think that especially with things going on right now outside and inside our country that are so devastating and anxiety inducing, please remember their goal is to remove your joy and drain your energy. Their goal is to have you burned out to the point of exhaustion. The filling your cup is necessary.
It's a form of resistance.
Yes, there's balance to be found. Work through the guilt. You got to work through the guilt. It's necessary to fill your cup to some level of capacity. And ask your friends, ask your people, ask even if you have 1 or 2 people. Share the load. Share it. Okay? My drink's almost done.
My drink's gone.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, was that judgment? Excuse me?
When did you have time? I didn't see it.
Yeah, I was just drinking. I was sipping.
It was a fast sip.
Gulping, perhaps, mayhaps.
Chugging.
Absolutely not.
Well, on that note, we're going to get Nye a fresh drink. And whatever time of day it is, I hope you have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening. Thanks for joining us. Please come and check us out again and tell us how you filled your cup.
Yeah, we'd love to hear what your joy looks like.
Yeah.
Or your passion looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you getting into, even if it's scary? Love you all.
Love you. Bye, beautiful people.
I hated that. Bye.
Toodles.
Toodles.
We have to think of an outro.
Okay, we do. And I like Toodles.
You do like Toodles for real?
Mhm.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
Okay. Yeah, we will.